Hi friends, it's Alyssa and welcome back to my kitchen. So I'm in my kitchen today. I want to get some meal prep done. I don't have a lot of time, but I have a handful of recipes, about 5 or so, that I want to make so I can stock my freezer for back to school. I can't believe school's right around the corner. Summer's about to end. So I want to make these recipes to make my life easier. So I want to do some breakfast items, some snack items, some lunch items, and I want to get this done. Now I don't have a lot of time, about an hour or so let's see how much we can get done. Let's get started on the video. So we're going to start off by making some cinnamon roll muffins. So these don't actually have yeast in them. They don't require any type of rise time, so it's a lot quicker. I don't have a lot of time, like I said earlier, so I'm gonna do these as mini version, which I haven't done the mini version before, so hopefully they turn out okay. So let's get started on these cinnamon roll muffins. Okay, so I got my oven preheating at 350 degrees already, so that can start warming up. I also did spray a mini muffin pan very well with some cooking spray because I don't want these to stick. I also have over here by my oven milk, sour cream, my egg and my butter all measured out and ready to go, sitting there because it has to come to room temperature. So it's been sitting out for a little bit now. And so right now I'm just gonna mix up my dry ingredients before we add in the wet ingredients. So I'm just adding in my flour right now. I'm gonna have all of the recipes that I'll be making today listed down below in the description box. So if you wanna make anything, just go there to look for the ingredients and the measurements of everything. And then I'm gonna add in my sugar right now. So I like to have muffins in the freezer. It's so easy to just make a big batch of muffins, wait for them to cool, add them into a big Ziploc bag and pop them into the freezer. And then I just take them out as I need them. And then I just put them in the microwave on like a 70% power and I just defrost them in there and they come out great every single time. And my girls love muffins in the morning. I usually just do muffins with some egg and some fruit and it's perfect. Okay, so just in this bowl, we've added in the dry ingredients, and now I'm gonna move over to my KitchenAid mixer and we're gonna get all of the wet ingredients mixed up in that, and then we're gonna add the dry ingredients once that's all done. The wet is pretty much mixed up, so now I'm just gonna add in my dry ingredients and get this blended up until it forms a dough. All right, so the dough is all done. I'm just gonna turn it out onto my countertop here with a little bit of flour. The dough is still gonna be sticky, but it's gonna be soft and you're still gonna be able to work with it. It's not gonna come onto your hands and stick to your hands. So I'm just going to get this rolled out before I add my butter and sugar, cinnamon sugar mixture. And then I just have the rest of my stick of butter that I had sitting out at room temperature right here. And I'm just gonna get this onto the dough and spread it all around before I add my sugar mixture on. Okay, so I just used my hands. I find it the easiest way to help the butter melt down and smear this on the dough easily and quickly. So I have it all smeared on here, and now I'm just gonna get my cinnamon sugar mixture on top. So in here I just have brown sugar and cinnamon mixed up, and I'm just gonna sprinkle this all on top of the dough. So the reason why I like these is that it requires no rise time, no resting, nothing, because there's no yeast in it. And I love cinnamon rolls. I just hate having to be patient and letting them rest and rise and all that. So these are great because they come together quickly in about 20 minutes and then it bakes in about 15 to 20 minutes and they always come out so good and my girls love them. Okay, so I have my mini muffin pan here. Like I said earlier, it is sprayed really well with cooking spray because I want to make sure these guys come out of this. And I'm just gonna kind of cut off my edges here because they're all uneven and get it kind of a perfect looking rectangle in a way. So what I'm just doing is cutting 1-inch strips here. Like I said earlier, I've never done these as mini muffins. I've always done larger muffins, but I think they should turn out okay. So I'm just rolling it up like so, and then I'm just gonna plop it right into the mini muffin. I'm kind of wondering, like this guy's really thick, so I think what I'm actually gonna do is cut it in half so then it's not as thick, and I'll get more of these as well, and I will just put it in like that. All right, so the rolls are all in the pan. So when I do these as large muffins, they need to bake for about 20 or so minutes, but because these are minis, I'm gonna start them at 15 minutes, I think, and then go from there. Okay, so the next recipe I'm gonna do while my cinnamon rolls are cooking is French toast. So I'm going to try something a little bit different. I saw something online a while ago and it looked really good, so I'm gonna kind of go off memory. I'm gonna cut these in thirds, and then I'm gonna use those as little mini French toast, and I'm gonna make my batter, dip them in the batter, and then cook them. This is the party pack though of the Hawaiian rolls. I don't need this much. I found this in my freezer, and so I thought I wanted to just use this up. So I'm actually going to do half of this as French toast, and then the other half I'm gonna make little sandwiches of like peanut butter and jelly, but not peanut butter because I'm not gonna send my kid to school with peanut butter with allergies and stuff. So I do have sunflower butter, so I'm going to do that instead. So I'll do half of it as the sandwiches, and then the other half will be the French toast. So let's get started on the French toast. So in here, I'm just gonna make up my French toast batter. So I'm going to use half milk and then half heavy cream, because I have heavy cream in my fridge that I wanna use up. And then I'm gonna put eggs in it, vanilla, and then cinnamon is what I need, but I ran out of cinnamon. I used it all up for the cinnamon rolls, but I have cinnamon sugar. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of cinnamon sugar into it and mix that all up. And then I'm also going to add in a little bit of nutmeg, just a sprinkle. Okay, so I'm just doing half like I said. I'm gonna save the other half for sandwiches, and I'm just going to be cutting these up into thirds. So just like this. And then I'm gonna get these into the mixture, start soaking a little bit. Okay, so I just have my largest pan heating up with a couple tablespoons of butter, and I'm gonna put the French toast right in there and just cook these a little bit, like a minute or two at each side until it's golden brown. So I think these will freeze really, really well. I'm gonna toss them in some cinnamon sugar, and then once they cool completely, and then put them into a big Ziploc bag, pop them in my freezer, and then the morning when I wanna go use these, I'll just put them in the microwave and cook them for 30 or so seconds on like 80% power, and then flip them and maybe do the same, and I think they'll come out perfect. So while these ones cook, I'm gonna go finish slicing up the rest and get them into the mixture, so they'll be ready to go once these ones are done. So I don't wanna put these into the mixture right away, since those ones are gonna take a little bit to cook on the stovetop there, because I don't want them to get super, super soggy, so I'll put them in just a little bit before I need to put them on. All right, I'm gonna go over now and check their French toast and see if they need to be flipped. All right, so these I think are about done. They've cooked about a minute, minute and a half each side, and that was plenty of time. So I'm just gonna put them on a little paper towel here on the plate. Oh, cinnamon rolls. And then let them the butter kind of soak up on that paper towel, and let them cool completely. All right, so now I'm just gonna get my next batch on. My cinnamon rolls, the timer went off, but they needed more time, so I put them in for a few more minutes to see how they'll do with that. All right, so that's the last of them. I'm gonna let these finish off cooking, and then I'm gonna get started on the ham and cheese roll-ups that I wanna make. All right, so I think the cinnamon rolls are done. They look good, a little funky looking, but I think they'll be good. I'm gonna let those cool, and then I'm actually going to change the temp on my oven to 375 because I'm gonna make ham and cheese roll-ups, and that's what they need to bake at. All right, so I'm gonna make these roll-ups, the ham and cheese roll-ups. I'm gonna do these for lunches, but I can also do them for breakfast in the morning. I just have one pack of the crescent rolls here. I have some cheddar cheese sliced up, and then some ham. All right, so I just put a slice of cheese, a little bit of my ham that I have, and I'm just gonna roll these up like this. So you get little roll-ups. All right, so those are all done. I'm gonna get these in the oven. It's set at 375, like I said earlier, and they're gonna bake for about 8 to 10 minutes. So the cinnamon rolls have been cooling for a little bit. I'm just gonna get them onto my cooling rack here and let them cool there. But they turned out really cute, so I'm just gonna let these cool and then put a little bit of icing on them, I'm thinking, and then they'll go into the freezer like that. So these came together so quickly. That's why I love this recipe. You get the treat of cinnamon rolls without having to wait forever to get them done. So it took me like 20 minutes to put those together, and then they baked for, I would say, just under 20 minutes because I started at 15 and then I did let them go for a few minutes more. But they look super cute and delicious, and I think they're gonna be perfect for crazy mornings with my kids. Okay, so the next item I'm gonna make is a snack, and it's gonna be kind of like Go-Gurts, I guess, in a way, but homemade. So I just have frozen mango. Both my girls absolutely love mango. So I got 2 bags of the frozen mango, which I'm not sure if I'm gonna use all of it. And then I did get some Greek yogurt. I got the honey kind. And then I'm also gonna put in some honey as well. And then I'm gonna blend it all up. And then I got these on Amazon. So I'm going to fill them up and then pop them in the freezer so they're ready to go for lunches and then after school snacks. Now I'm just gonna get this on my blender until it's all smooth. Okay, so here is everything blended up. So I actually ended up adding in about a half a cup, maybe a little bit more of whole milk. because when I didn't add in the liquid, it was just way too thick. So I saw this recipe, well, I saw somebody do this on, I think it was Instagram. And when they made it, they didn't add in any liquid, no water, no milk. And I'm not really sure how, because theirs came out super runny. And when mine was done, it didn't look like theirs at all. So I definitely recommend adding in milk or water to help thin it out, so it's not so thick. So now that that's done, I have a little squirt bottle here and a funnel. I'm going to try my best to get this in here so I can fill up the little plastic bags for Go-Gurts. Oh yeah. Okay, that's definitely gonna take way too long, so I'm just gonna try this. Okay, so I got a bunch of these, which I'm really happy about. However, I have a few recommendations for doing that if you want to do that. Don't use this funnel thing to try to get the fruit yogurt mixture into this. I would just try to get the blended mixture to somewhat runny consistency, so it'll be easier to pour into this, and then just take what's in the blender and slowly pour it into this to try not to overflow it. It worked pretty well for me once I got the hang of it, and then I started kind of going through it pretty quickly, but at first it was a little challenging. But totally worth it because I got a bunch of these that I think my girls will love. So the last thing I want to get done is just make the sandwiches with the rest of these Hawaiian rolls that I have. So my kids love peanut butter and jelly. They love those Smuckers, you know, sandwiches you can keep in the freezer and just throw in the lunches. But because of peanut allergies, I'm not gonna be sending my little girl to school with peanut butter items. So I'm gonna use the rest of these Hawaiian rolls and make up my own little peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I guess quote unquote peanut butter. But I'm gonna be using the sunflower butter right here and then just some strawberry jelly. So now that I got the sunflower butter down, I'm going to put some of the strawberry jelly on. All right, so those are all done. I'm just gonna get the tops on and cut them up and then put them into one big Ziploc bag into my freezer. All right, perfect, there we go. We have a bunch of these little sandwiches to go into the freezer, and then I would just take out what I need and put them into a sandwich bag when I make up her lunch, and then they'll be defrosted by lunchtime. Okay, so now that the French toasts have cooled completely, I just have a big Ziploc bag that I added some cinnamon, brown sugar, and white sugar in, and I'm just going to add a few French toasts at a time and then mix them all up to coat them. Okay, so now I'm just gonna make up the icing for the cinnamon roll muffin. So I have about 2 tablespoons or so of some butter that I just kind of softened up. It started melting a little bit in the microwave. Now I'm gonna add about 3/4 cup of powdered sugar. And then about a teaspoon of vanilla. And then a couple teaspoons of milk. All right, so that's kind of where I want it. Slightly runny. So my cinnamon roll muffins have been cooling completely over here on the rack. And what I'm gonna do is, before with the larger muffins, I would just drizzle cinnamon or the icing on top, but I'm gonna actually dip these right in, and then let the excess amount kind of drip off, and then leave them here until they dry completely before I get them into the freezer. So there we go. So these have cooled completely, and so now I'm just gonna get them into a large Ziploc bag to go right into my freezer. All right guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for coming along with me. We got a lot done in a very short amount of time. I'm so happy with everything that I got done today that I can stock my freezer with. So I'm gonna go get my toddler up. She's hollering for me. She just got up from her nap and I have to head out and get my little girl from summer camp. So if you're new here and you like this kind of content, make sure to subscribe down below, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.